Hi, everyone. So for this week's discussion, there was a lot to take in, but some really awesome thoughts from everyone. So good work. Overall, I think the things that struck out to me most was I had one of my classmates, Jeremy, post on my discussion that that we do feel like we have control most of the time, which is a great point because really it does feel like we are independently making our own thoughts and actions and everything. However, my other classmate, and please correct me if I'm not saying your name right, Vinay, some of your answers really added to this too. I liked how, your explanation about, how you and your fiance end up in the same place at the same time because you're, independently making free will choices. And that, once everybody's making free will choices, that's kind of chaos and, everybody is making their own choices and how does that work coherently together. And then you mentioned the readiness potential experiment, which I think goes along with this really well too because we are thinking, like Jeremy said, that we are feeling like we have a control most of the time, but really when it comes down to research, it shows that we don't really, that we tend to, research shows that our brain does things before we actually know it. And the other thing to add to this too that really struck out to me about a lot of people's conversations was that the idea that, we're studying psychology and the idea that we have all these research that has been done that shows that people are more predictable than not. Take, for example, when somebody is injured in a crowd, the idea that most of the time we can be pretty sure, like, a large group, they're not going to be helped. A small group, one or two people, they're probably going to be helped. And, it's the idea that we have this choice, we can help or not, or maybe even help if we see somebody else help. But at the same time, we think we have those options, but then what are they really being built on and based off of? And that's the part where things kind of get crazy with free will and, where all these things about multiple people, everybody having free will and acting together, and just that we feel like we have control, but really we don't because we're predictable. And when we're not predictable, we still have motives for another action that in turn would make us predictable in that sense and then reduce free will. Well, anyways, enjoyed all your guys' posts this week. It was awesome. Bye.